My life and my reality were messed with. I was messed with, along with a lot of other kids. I was in the GATE program in elementary school, 4th and 5th grade. I've been learning more about this GATE program, or TAG, Talented and Gifted, Gifted and Talented Education Program, GATE. I remember fluoride rinses at least once a week, sort of a chalky pink liquid that we were told not to swallow, but we swished thoroughly for at least 1 minute. We were supposed to for a minute. I remember doing this and my cheeks hurt because I really did it. And they were supposed to spit it out into a cup. And then they collected that. I didn't throw it away. I remember being isolated once a week in a very small room. I remember a clunky set of headphones they put on my ears. I remember the Gateway audio being played. I remember flashcards. I remember ink blots. I remember being told to guess, just not being shown anything. Just guess what's on this. What does it look like? I remember trying to explain what I was being taught by my parents in home about Jesus, about spirituality, about not messing with voodoo or witchcraft or intuition or guessing, that kind of stuff. And then I remember being questioned about that. I remember group activities where I remember finally, and I don't know who it was to, whether it was to my actual teacher or it was to some other instructor. I remember seeing people I'd never met before come into the school. This is Eaton, Indiana, Eaton Elementary. Eaton Norseman. I was a Norseman. I remember flashcards with stars, triangles, circles, squares, little waves, different shapes. I remember being asked if I was a follower or if I was a leader, and then put into these group activities where we were not allowed to ask any clarifying questions to figure out the answer. I was naturally a leader in 4th and 5th grade. My classmates gravitated towards me. They liked me. They liked my presence. They wanted me to lead, but I said I'd rather follow. I'd rather comply. They asked me questions about rules, about laws, about following the rules. And of course, this is the stuff I was being taught at home, especially by my mom, that it was always very, very important to respect and honor authority, to be compliant, to be docile, to be polite, to be not the dominant, the subordinate. And I was being taught this at home, and then I was being questioned about this in school in 4th and 5th grade. My transition from homeschool into public school was in 4th grade. It was my first time ever in a public classroom. I got in trouble in 4th grade because I didn't understand And I think it was within the first month, which I was coming home crying every day for weeks and weeks when I first started in public school. Mostly I would hide it. I would try to hide it. I would talk to mom. I was really struggling. I did not understand other kids. I got really frustrated and aggravated when I could not articulate something I didn't understand, or if the instructions were not clear. This one kid, I won't say his name, but he scared me when we were in the bathroom. We all lined up for a water fountain break, and then anybody who had to use the restroom, we went in to use the restroom. Boys went in. This one guy who was a lot bigger than I was kind of throwing his weight around, and I was both thinking that maybe he's joking, maybe he's playing, but also feeling like he's a lot bigger and he could hurt me. And I pulled myself up on the stall door, and it was swinging open as a teacher walked in because she heard commotion. She saw me hanging there because I was trying to get away from him. And she said, "Both of you have sentences." And I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea what that meant. I just know that I missed recess and didn't know why. And that Mrs. Haggard, my fourth grade teacher, my homeroom teacher, seemed upset with me. And then there were no sentences on the board because I didn't know what that meant. So she sent a note home to my parents saying that I was insubordinate and that I did not follow instructions, and I refused to write sentences on the board. I didn't even know what she wanted me to do. No one explained it. No one even sat down and talked to me like I was a human being, let alone a child. So I had a lot of trauma throughout that transition, and I'm remembering more and more and more and more of it. The gateway, they gave us stuff. They gave us these gummies or some kind of candy. Said it was brain food. And I remember telling my parents they gave us brain food. And it was sugary, it was sweet. It's kind of like a sour gummy, like a sour candy. What was that? I know the pink chalky stuff was fluoride. Straight up fluoride. And I have had dental problems my entire life. Pain in my mouth. What was this? Well, I keep finding out more stuff. That was real. That was a real program. I had an early childhood drowning experience. My whole family knows about this. They were there. I wouldn't be alive today if there wasn't an Olympic swimmer from Germany in that pool in South Dakota. And I still don't remember if it was a rest stop or if it was a hotel next to a rest stop, but I remember it was like the truck stop from Disney World. I remember a lot of trucks, and I remember a pool, and it was at night, and I was going hand over hand, closer and closer towards the deep end, but just right on the edge, thinking I was safe. I wasn't going to go too far, and I just got past it, and it didn't slope like pools that I had been in before. It just drops off, and then I slip right there. My feet can't touch the bottom, and I go under, and I can't get up, and I'm gasping for air, thinking this is it. Stuff starts going black. all of a sudden I feel a hand on my back push me out. It was this young woman. To me, she was older, obviously, but she was a young woman who'd been in swimming laps back and forth in the deep end that entire time. Pushed me out. I was screaming, I was crying, but nothing was coming out. I had water, coughed it out. Probably slept really hard that night. Don't remember too much after that, but boy, do I remember that. And I remember having a dream shortly after we got home. Mechanicsburg, Indiana. I remember having this dream. I told my parents about it. In my dream, I thought I had just woken up the next day. I was getting ready to go play outside, went over to the sliding glass door, opened it up, went outside, looked around, and all of a sudden in the sky, this giant hand comes out of the clouds. Just the clouds just kind of part. It comes down, almost touching the grass, just sort of hovers. And I knew it. I just knew this is God. It was filled with peace and safety, security, love. I climbed up in the hand, and it just raises up above the roof of my house, and I could see the landscape, the backyard, the roof of the house, the bird's eye view, the trees, the ferns that went around the house. The house was shaped like a T, and the driveway went down like this all the way to the road. The trees in the front yard I could see. I didn't recognize this view from this dream until Google Earth was available, and I looked it up, and I remembered that's exactly what I saw at 5 or 6 years old. I had an aerial view memory of my childhood home and landscape that could not have been confirmed until years and years and years and years and years later, when there was actually internet. So this is way before internet, cell phones, or GPS technology. And I had a memory or I had a dream of the future. Either way, I'm remembering the future. Deep program.